In Wellington, a few kilometres away from Island Bay's empire, sits a cinema in Miramar that has only just reopened its doors. Jamie Selkirk is one of the co-owners of the Roxy and also a proud owner of an Oscar for its work editing a rather successful film. Jamie, I noticed the Lord of the Rings cap there. Did you have anything to do with the movie at all?
Yeah, I spent a bit of time in there, and I spent about 6 years on it.
6 years?
Yeah, so we ended the final year where I was editing the Return of the King. And
you edited Return of the King?
Yeah.
Legend.
Thank you. It was a fun film to work on.
In 2004, Jamie Selkirk decided to buy a falling apart shopping mall. Then, in 2010, he, along with half a dozen others, decided they had better do something with the Capitol building before it fell down. The Capitol, 1928. Tell us about the original Capitol Cinema. What was it?
Well, obviously
it was a classic suburban cinema.
Yeah, classic suburban cinema, built in 1928, as you say. It had about 600 seats in it. It was the typical theatre, you know, the wooden floors, so you could roll the Jaffas down, and the usual sort of story with movies, cinemas in those days. But it was the central place of Miramar. It was the only place really for entertainment. And it was one of the last cinemas to be converted to talkies. Started off as a silent movie theatre. And that was one of the, I think it's converted to talkies about 1932, I think. And eventually closed down in 1964 with the sort of the advent of TV coming to New Zealand. A lot of cinemas sort of closed their doors when TV hit the screens.
It's the story of cinema repeated over and over again. But amongst the suburban theatres that have reopened, the Roxy stands out with its impeccable approach to recreating the golden age of moviegoing. There are two reasons for such attention to detail. One, they are cinema buffs, and two, they have the cash thanks to their high-flying work with Peter Jackson.
We got into buying it because someone had bought it, and we were going to basically put apartments here. They're going to sort of pretty well knock it down and put apartments here. We thought, oh, that's not a good idea. That cinema had been there a long time. It's part of the Miramar sort of streetscape. And so we thought, well, it's a good opportunity. We need a cinema in Miramar. After all, the film is in Miramar. We've got studios, we've got visual effects, we've got all those sort of things right here in Miramar, but we haven't got a cinema.
Peter Jackson down the road.
Peter's down the road. So why not have a cinema here in Miramar? Why not develop it into a cool theatre that we'd really love to come to?
If you've got friends in high places, it would be foolish to not call on them. And so the special effects wizards from Weta were brought in for some interior design.
They put a lot of input in because they're very creative people. They came up with really good ideas and said, oh, well, wouldn't it be cool if, and wouldn't it be cool if we did that? Could do a walkthrough in like a 3D environment of how we want it to be.
Really?
Yeah, so we actually did like a sort of created it in the computer of how we wanted it to be. And in particular, a lot of the interior decoration, we then sent that to the architects, and the architects would say, oh, yeah, see what, and so they developed the building to suit sort of what we wanted.
Did Weta have the same passion, you know, when they got on board with the project as you did?
For a start, they were designing something that they felt was going to be substantial and stay there for a long time. It wasn't like set building. Normally, they're designing for movies. Something that you're designing and it's getting pulled down after you finish shooting it. So they knew this was going to stay here. It was going to be something that they could say is something concrete and solid. And they were excited about doing that.
Making a profit from running a cinema today is difficult, so the Roxy includes fine dining to balance the books. And while at some businesses I feel like apologising for interrupting the staff's standing round time, at the Roxy they feel the best way to make money is to get their employees to try and offer genuine service.
You can come for dinner, sit at the table, and then order a cocktail that you want to take into the movie with you afterwards, a dessert platter you want to take in with you, actually get your tickets delivered to your table when you're sitting here, and the maitre d' will go and do that for you. It is this one space that we look after you. You come in through that door and we'll take care of what you want if you just let us know.
I like some of the little touches, for example, the boiled sweets that you bring in maybe from the UK.
We did a lot of research into the 1930s. It was not a big marketing, merchandising, big logos type of era, so things were behind cupboards. Things are very refined.
Is there a place for Jaffas, though, in the Roxy?
Yeah, there's some, some things you can't get rid of.
Is the usher experience a big part of Roxy Cinema?
It is. I think that's where a lot of cinemas have not been able to do the same, I suppose, because in the digital age you don't need so many attendants around the whole time watching the film and being there to catch the glitches. But for us it was important to have the usher, the meet and greet at the door into the cinema as you go in, being there to check your tickets, help you to your seat if you need it, guide you to the lifts and get you into the building and into the space, and host in a traditional role that an usher would have.
I don't want to sound like an ad for the Roxy, but I love that they've paid attention to the little things. The waterfall curtain is a delightful and expensive touch. Do you make a living out of it?
No, we did it because it was the joy of making a movie cinema. We didn't really expect to make a lot of money out of it. It was something we wanted to do for the suburb.